About to walk in the door.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us for Politically Incorrect Knitters. This is our episode this week because Saturday is Christmas Eve, and Anne and I are going to be busy, and Amy is going to be off doing whatever non-celebratory celebrators do. But before we get into
holiday season,
before we get all chatty though, guys, don't forget we're sponsored by Chicken Lady Fiber Arts. You can use the code PIKWinter20 to get 20% off your order from her. And we're sponsored by Cody Schlegel. And ironically, the only person who has a copy of his book on hand is Amy.
Yay!
So thanks for doing that. This is the last giveaway with Cody because we've done it for a whole year, and his book's no longer as new as it once was, and he's writing new ones. So fun stuff. So
that will be a part of this month's giveaway. So everybody who comments after the live stream is finished will be entered into the giveaway to win a copy of Odyssey Tale and a lovely skein of icy blue yarn by Chicken Lady Fiber Arts, which we don't currently have with us. But also, she is running a sale right now. I mean, you can use I don't think the promo code stacks on top of the sale, no. But she is running a sale, so go ahead and check out her page and get yarn for cheap, and subscribe to her newsletter if you want to be updated on other sales. And
exactly. Lovely. Yep. So you ladies are both knitting. What are you working on?
I started a sock, so I'd have something to do while we were on.
Well, that's nice. What about
I literally
you,
just
Anne?
got home.
Well, if you give me a couple minutes, I will have finished heel 2 on my socks.
Oh, aren't you fancy? So. Hey, guys, I finished my yoga socks. Now, granted, they're yoga socks, and they don't have actual toes and heels, but they are finished. Soft. They are gifted. There's one thing off my list.
Nice.
Seriously, there is something going on out here. There was a whole slew of emergency vehicles that went by, and now they're doing it again. Sometimes, like, we're on the route to the high school, so, like, if the team wins something, they'll go by with the fire trucks, but this doesn't seem like that. This seems like something bad's happening.
No, it's a Thursday night, and it's Christmas break. Why there wouldn't be?
Well, the kids aren't on break yet.
Oh, geez.
Our schools are canceled tomorrow because of the blizzard warning, but now they're beeping their horns. It's probably that somebody won something. But for a while there, it was just the sirens, and it sounded like there was some sort of, like, the town was burning down or something. So
it's Armageddon.
Well, it's a little disconcerting,
I don't know.
I'm sitting here trying to be like, hey, knitting, and I'm like, oh my god, is like my neighborhood on fire? What is happening?
Oh no, not again.
Well, it's not ideal, I won't lie.
Speaking of weather warnings, not to brag or anything, but mine definitely the worst.
Yeah?
Yeah.
No, that this morning it was minus 17 with a wind chill of minus 40. And
wow.
Absolutely just like walking back from work. I also got everyone got the phone buzz notification of, hey, no travel warning. In case we didn't see the video of our lovely governor last night saying, hey, don't travel.
Right.
Remember, you live in a place where the sky wants you dead. But yeah, I was walking back from work, and I'm all bundled up to the gills, and I have never, to my memory, had my glasses physically hurt my nose because of how cold it is.
Wow.
This sucks.
I wouldn't even know what to do.
Yeah, how cold is cold there, Amy?
It's not here yet. So tomorrow, where they're freaking out because our highs will be like, we will barely get above freezing. So normally when we freeze here, it's maybe like, they tell us if it's more than 4 hours consecutively, do the whole pipes, pets, plants thing. Well, that doesn't happen, but maybe like twice in the winter, like hardly ever. And like we run our water because we don't know how to do that. We're not insulated.
Oh, you guys aren't insulated.
Well, we don't like insulate our pipes and stuff the way y'all do.
Right. No, that makes sense.
Here, it's too expensive. So, like, we have to run the water outside. And you have to run the water furthest from the main, and it's like a trickle. And then people are getting like pool noodles and putting them on their hose bibs outside. Like I saw something today. It said those like styrofoam because we insulate our outside, like the hose bib that comes out of your wall outside, but not the actual spigot, what you would call it. I call it a hose bib because I work in plumbing. But people have been taking like styrofoam to go cup, like you could get your chips and salsa from the restaurant.
The shell.
The shell, and they took the shell and shoved insulation in it, and then taped it around.
Hey, whatever, it works, right?
I was like, man, that is genius. I should go get a daiquiri cup, get my wool scraps, shove the hose bib in there, tape it, and I'll have a new invention.
That's very on brand.
See, now we couldn't do that here because we're not allowed to have styrofoam. Is that everywhere, or is that just New York?
We definitely have styrofoam. Problem. You could have daiquiri to go places without styrofoam.
I don't know what that is.
Like a daiquiri, like to go daiquiri.
I know what a daiquiri is, but we don't have any. We weren't even allowed to like do to go like drinks until COVID here.
That's ridiculous.
I'm sorry. That's life.
And your plastic bag, right? You can't have plastic bags, right?
Yeah, Anne was really impressed with that. I will tell this story for the rest of my life of her checking out and the girl just pushing the stuff back across the counter at her and her just looking at her. Like, Anne was looking at her like, what do you want me to do?
I'm like, I'm doing the silent Midwestern thing. Like, isn't there something you should do now? Except they're not telling you. I'm looking at you. Hello.
Right. And then while they were standing there staring at each other, I realized that she had no idea that we're not allowed to have bags here. So I just put them in my purse. I carry a giant purse just for that purpose now. Because, like, you know, you got a couple small things or something. You don't want a big paper bag. It's a pain in the butt. So.
True. Crazy.
So you're allowed to have plastic bags and styrofoam containers at your house? I'm jealous.
Awesome.
I won't lie.
We are living big out here. Except for that whole freezing to death thing. But, you know, that's fine.
Oh, you'll be fine. It's only going to be for, what, another 6 months or so?
Yeah, well, not this bad. And as of now, Christmas is not quite canceled, but definitely postponed.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, ain't nobody coming out in this.
Don't be scared, bro.
So you're talking about like Christmas for extended people is postponed,
right?
Like you'll be with your immediate family.
Maybe.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah. Like I said, I'm at my parents. But I'm at my brother's house. My parents are totally frozen in where they are. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's no good.
That's crazy. I don't know how y'all do this stuff. I just had to prepare to send my kid to Louisville, Kentucky, and it's like an act of Congress to have found gloves and like a jacket and.
Well, why is he going to Louisville? Is it a school trip or something?
No, our church has like an event up there, and I can't ever go because of work. But he's hitching a ride with our best friend, so that he's able to go. It's like a whole weekend thing. Since we don't celebrate Christmas, it's like, hey, let's all get together and everybody can hang out.
Well, that's cool.
But I had to like hunt down gloves. Like, can't just go to the store and buy gloves here.
Well, you know, there's a reason that there's like, you know, Amazon and Walmart.com.
Yeah, I didn't think about that in time. So, and he's like, I gave him a hat, and he had an old hat. He's like, I'm like, well, pull it down. He's like, no, I don't like it over my ears. I'm like, that's the point of a hat.
You're gonna want it on your ears if it's cold out, dude.
You have to put it over your ears, or your ears are gonna fall off. Because -1, you're born and raised in Louisiana. You don't know what to do with -1, okay?
-1 is cold. I didn't realize Kentucky got that cold.
Yeah. No, well,
Are they like in the mountains or something?
Normally, they're in this whole vortex thing. So
right,
because it's almost in Indiana. So I mean, he's Louisville.
I guess that makes sense.
Louisville's right there. It's almost Indiana. So
okay.
So in all of this weather, I've seen a couple people, might have been the same guy, because, I saw in different contexts, this guy walking with a black cowboy hat. And I'm like, man, you are committed to the aesthetic, because it is freezing here and that doesn't cover your ears. What are you even thinking? What? And also, you're not West River. Get over yourself. Put on a beanie like the rest of us.
I've got a friend who wears a cowboy hat, and I don't know that I've seen him without it on, even in the winter. Now I'm gonna have to pay attention to that. I'm not sure. But then again, it's not that cold here yet. I mean, like, I went out in this hoodie today, so it was like a normal winter day for us, in the 30s. It was fine. But we're supposed to be getting that blizzard that Anne was enjoying, and all the schools. So our schools aren't on break yet. I guess in Louisiana they are, because Amy can't believe that.
How long do y'all get off?
They get the week off. They get the week between Christmas and New Year off.
Oh, we get 2 weeks off.
Well, sometimes they get more. It kind of depends on how it falls. But yeah. So all schools are canceled for tomorrow, and my mother-in-law was supposed to stay over and celebrate Christmas with us tomorrow, and that was a no-go. So I will miss her, but now I've got an extra day to finish up the things that I didn't finish. So I guess that's a bonus, right? Like, but they all wear their cowboy hats through the winter, even when it's really cold. Sometimes they'll put wool beanies under them.
That's cheating.
Why is that cheating?
If you're going to man up and only wear your cowboy hat, you only wear the cowboy hat.
I don't know, man. So what holiday excitement are you missing out on, Anne, since this is going on?
Me? Well,
Yeah.
I mean, normally, so how Christmas normally runs in the Pinkava household is that we will have a little family, nothing fancy, New Year's Eve, get together and then open all of our gifts. Then
Christmas Eve?
Christmas Eve?
Okay, cool.
Yep. So, we'll sometimes have pizza or sushi or something, like nothing elaborate. Open our gifts, watch a movie, have a nice time. Next day, Christmas Day proper, is either for going to or inviting in extended family members and having the full-on turkey and everything else. So that's always good. And then Boxing Day is still my favorite, which is nothing is expected of you. Hang out and eat leftover turkey sandwiches. That's the best.
We do not eat turkey.
Wow.
I'm going to be doing that, I guess, because we're having turkey on Saturday just because.
Nice.
Well, that's nice.
Because everything's closed. So my friend that took my kid, her husband, he couldn't go either because of work. So he's going to come over and eat, and we'll just hang out, and everything's closed. So
so even though you don't celebrate, in a way, you're having some sort of celebration together.
Yeah. Well, we'll hang out, still a Sabbath, so we'll have Sabbath together, and then Sunday, I don't plan on doing much except go look over my another friend that went. She was like, can you go feed the dog? And I'm like, it's like gonna be coldest ever temperatures, and I gotta go out and feed your dog.
Well,
So I do have to leave the house. I wasn't gonna leave the house, but I do have to leave the house.
So can you tell us why your faith doesn't do the Christmas thing? Is there a...
Because it's not a holy convocation in the Bible.
Okay.
We do the holy days as listed in Leviticus 23.
Okay. So did you put up your Festivus poll yet?
Wait, Festivus is...
You get a poll?
Is it the 21st or the 23rd?
I don't know. But I know that you get a poll and you get to air your grievances.
I think it's the 23rd because I think it was like 2 days before Christmas and George's dad couldn't find the present or some such. And that's how he came up with Festivus.
So there you go.
So it's the
So do you
airing
have
of
your poll for
grievances.
tomorrow?
I'm not getting a poll for tomorrow, but I have a lot of problems with you people.
That's right. I'm going to tell you about them.
And there will be no feats of strength because I will lose.
You and Cezanne are on the same page. She said in feats of strength and Festivus for the rest of us.
It's not over till you pin me.
Oh my gosh.
I will have to watch that though. I always watch that episode. So
you have to. It's so funny anyway.
I love it, though.
And yes, it's on the 23rd, she said. Apparently,
Okay.
she is the Festivus oracle, and any
She's the
questions we
coordinator.
have, we should direct to her.
So she's the coordinator, and like she should have planned it for us. She should give
Apparently.
the poll. So it's up to her to get the poll.
All right, Cezanne, where's the poll? How are we going to air the grievances and do the feats of strength without the Festivus poll? I haven't seen that in so long. I have to watch it again. It's hard to remember exactly what was up. That's cool.
You know, in between Die Hard and A Christmas Story, you have to remember the Festivus episode.
You know, okay.
I did watch Die Hard.
There you go.
I have to watch my favorite Christmas movie, but my problem is that I cannot watch it when my kids are awake, and my husband doesn't like it, so I don't know if I'll get to watch it this year.
What's that?
It's Love Actually, and it's a terrible movie, but I love it so much.
I have never watched it.
You what?
I've never watched it.
Well, why did it make you go, ugh, if you've never watched
No, I
it?
laughed because you could.
But it's wildly inappropriate, like so bad. I couldn't watch it with my kids, even if they were older. There's no way. My mother and sister nearly had a Festivus the other day. Oh man. Amy's like the most popular person we've ever had on. Look at her. So if we're not snowed in and if everything works out on Christmas Eve, we go to my aunt and uncle's house and we do the Italian fish dinner.
Oh,
do you know about it or no?
No, but that sounds very fancy.
Well, some of it's fancy and some of it is just straight up gross. So so every year they have things like shrimp. And I don't actually eat any seafood either. So I'm put off by the whole thing as it is on principle. But, so we do shrimp and clams casino and lobster dip. And then for the supper, there's scallops and calamari and smelt. And then the main event is the spaghetti sauce with tuna fish in it. And not like chunks of tuna fish, like a can of tuna fish in it. And this is our Italian Christmas tradition. And even though I think it's super gross, like I like all the smells and stuff, it's very nostalgic for me. But yeah, I never eat any of it. My husband, who loves seafood, thinks it's the coolest thing that ever happened, though. So yeah,
that is
the Feast of the Seven Fishes. Yeah, but I don't think we do the right seven fishes, which is why I don't call it that.
I could eat none of that almost.
Yeah. And why is that?
Because almost none of that is kosher. None of that is clean meat.
Yeah, well,
Tuna is probably good.
Tuna I can eat, but I'm not eating the spaghetti. I don't know what you're doing with that.
Right? And you're just like, it's like, oh, I can't have this spaghetti. Oh, is that for principle? It's like, no, it's just
no. Oh, I'm gluten free, so oh man, I can't eat the spaghetti. That's a shame.
I'm so sorry.
Well, every year somebody brings the plain spaghetti sauce for the people who choose not to partake of that nonsense.
I just never would have put that together ever.
But it's tradition. I mean, like I remember being at my grandma and grandpa's house and them doing it, and and we took a couple of years off because of COVID, and now we're doing it again. So it should be fun.
A couple of years off your life because of the tradition.
No, but I don't eat seafood. I went through a phase of my life where I got a lot of hives and nobody knew why, and so not a lot of seafood. some of it has a lot of histamines in it.
Mm-hmm.
So I just don't eat it because I'm prone to hives, and it just, if I'm gonna break out in hives, I'd rather get it from a glass of wine than some fish that I'm not that interested in. So, but yeah, that's what we do. And then on Christmas, we'll go to my mom's and we'll just have a normal Christmas dinner with like a ham and some mashed potatoes, and there'll be like me and my brother and my mom and stepdad, and it'll be very, very chill, and I'm very happy about it. So that's the plan.
Nice.
I can't believe you've never heard of the fish thing, though. It's probably because all you guys out there are, what are you? Gypsies?
No.
No, she's not a gypsy. Oh, I'm gonna get in trouble for saying that. Aren't you of
Gypsies themselves don't care. I've asked them.
Aren't you of whatchamacallit descent? That makes you.
That's Romanian or whatever. That's
She's not Romanian though.
the other thing.
No, I'm Czech.
That's right.
I don't know that we have any specific Czech traditions or any of that.
Uh,
But lots of Norwegians around here. So luckily, not us, but lutefisk. That a lot of people do that. So that's a very.
and what is that?
Oh, it's every country has its dare food, and lutefisk is Norway's. That it's.
I've heard of that.
Yeah.
Is that stinky thing?
Yeah, it's fish that's gone off, and you still eat it.
I have heard of that.
Why? What is the point of that?
Is it fermented fish? Is that what it is?
It must be.
Otherwise, you die.
I think it's fermented. But yeah, I'm not. It's something I've always avoided at all costs. A little lefse. Lefse's fine. Lefse's good.
Okay.
Thing like now.
This is an interest. Somebody does raw beef and onions for the holidays,
Oh.
which is interesting. And Kiva here says that she does fondue for Christmas. Meats and hot oil, bread and veggies and cheese sauce, and fruits and melted chocolate. I've heard of the bread and veggies and cheese and the chocolate thing, but I've not heard of the hot oil. So there's like hot oil fondue and you just stick your stuff in it and fry it?
Yeah.
Sounds dangerous.
That sounds horrible.
So, okay, sorry. Thinking of foods and odd stuff for Christmas. So, well,
Technically, there are foods we eat that have gone off, so it's not the worst thing, I guess, that can
but
happen.
not a meat product.
Okay. So anyway,
Here's my thought. Oh, okay. So I'm sure I said before that my brother was in the Navy in Japan for a few years. And I remember one Christmas Eve in particular where he's like, look, I brought you food. And it was a little packet of squid. And it was preserved in some way. Like, yeah, everybody have some. This is great. If you're in Japan and you're at a burger place, they'll have your burger and fries, but they'll also have some of this squid stuff. And sometimes it's like barbecue flavor. Here, eat it. And it was a Christmas challenge, and I was that close to just barfing all over the wrapping paper. Like, it was going to be so bad. I was like,
That's gross.
And the barbecue squid stuff, like, I just the smell of it alone was too much.
yeah, no.
Disgusting.
Like, I used to try to be like a people pleaser and stuff, and now I'm just like, nope, I'm just not interested. Go away.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
No.
So Morgan said about the raw beef thing is that it's German or Polish, and typically they use raw pork rather than beef. Won't you get trichinosis from doing that? Isn't that a bad idea?
I mean, I would think, but
You take an unclean meat, making it uncleaner.
even more so.
How can you make it uncleaner, Amy?
If it's like going bad, that's like worse.
Like, burn it without the camp.
Let's see. I have to agree that
Fermenting works. fermenting fixes things, so that's
right.
okay. But...
And Morgan says they process the pork differently, so apparently you're not going to die from that. So that's good. It's not gone bad. We're talking about two different things here.
Okay, all right. So this is not recipe hour, evidently.
No,
Hey.
should not be.
Yeah.
I made my husband mushroom soup tonight. Fun fact, I don't eat mushrooms.
Oh,
so I followed the recipe and I did everything the recipe said and I got it all ready. And I'm like, here, come taste it. And he put in like 4 pounds of pepper. He's like, it's got to be spicier. And I'm like, I would have tasted it, but I wouldn't have known if it was good or not. So I didn't bother. So he ate his soup. He said it was really good. He goes, but I wish it was spicier. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. Like,
maybe you should have gone for like the hot sauce proper instead of just more pepper.
Yeah. Some actual spicy seasonings, not just
right.
pepper.
Well, I'm like, I have a lot of seasonings that can make it spicier, but because I don't eat mushroom soup, I don't know which one you want. That's on you, like you can try it. I don't know if chili powder is the answer or some cayenne or some regular hot sauce. I don't know. You're going to have to figure it out.
I'll have to send you some Slap Your Mama's seasoning.
Okay.
That's like the
That
local...
sounds gross.
It's just like cayenne and all the spices that we use on stuff to make it hot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, like
it's spicy.
We tend to eat a lot of spicy, like Mexican food. So that's the kind of stuff I have, and I don't know if that would have worked.
Probably not.
So, what? That cannibal sandwiches raw hamburger, pork, onions on 2 slices of bread. What? Also, Lori, I finally mailed your package today, so sorry I suck. I hope you enjoy it. It should come soon.
Oi.
What?
I said, oi.
Dude, I have not been on task today or this week. I've not been doing what I'm supposed to.
Look, my motto is that sounds like a 2023 problem.
It's a good motto. I just got a notification on my phone that I think looks like the post office has given up on tomorrow.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, for us anyways, that the trucks aren't going to go out tomorrow.
Interesting.
Here's a picture of your present. You haven't got it already.
That's funny. I haven't mailed Anne's present yet. I just finally got all of the giveaways out. Like, let's do one thing at a time.
Hey, I haven't mailed yours either. It's like we're connected.
And I just mailed out all of my giveaways. So,
Here, 1 second.
Were your giveaways from September? Because that's when mine were from.
No, they weren't that bad.
I had September, October, November, and Anne has December. Thank God I'm not in charge of that one. Oh, and there was a giveaway on Instagram where I was going to give something away on like a Friday. And then like 6 weeks later, I went, oh, crap, I never did that giveaway. So I mailed that one too.
Oops.
You know what? I never said I was good at this.
Life
just because people watch me doesn't mean I'm like, I do my best. So are you at the end of your heel yet, Anne?
I was, and then I realized that I messed the entire thing up.
Oh, no.
Not the entire heel up, but I was continuing my pattern beneath my foot like a fool. So I'm very quietly
unknitting. I really like those 2 dogs that just came into the screen, like biting each other's faces and then left. Like, what was going on?
They're still biting each other's faces. I was going to call Molly over, have a little screen time for the girl, but she's still going. So.
She's got business.
Exactly. She's busy right now. But yes, I guess with the post office delay, I have it on good authority that Molly is getting a Christmas gift from a very lovely little girl. So
that's cool.
Here.
Oh, there she is.
She's not interested in you. She's got her buddy to play with. She's like, forget that crap.
Like, I'm on a mission.
She said, well, Arlo, the husky, has a they're play fighting. It's not any big deal.
Right.
But even with that noise, but he has a habit of biting her Achilles tendon. So she's taking that personally.
That seems dangerous and unnecessary.
Yeah. He fights dirty.
His face is just cracked. You just look. He's so memeable. His face is just like. It's like he gives you. Looks like he's giving you a dirty look, even if he's not giving you a dirty look. And Molly's like.
Oh, we all know Molly's a charmer.
I know.
Oh man.
Oh goodness.
So Anne, when are we opening the rest of our Advent? Do you even have it with you?
I actually don't. I don't know if you want to.
Lynn's or
Lynn's.
Yeah.
I have
It's
it.
the
If you
only
need
Advent
it.
we had. No, I have mine.
I got that too.
You are so prepared.
It's like she's trying to like suck up or something so she can come on more often. I'm not sure what this is.
Y'all just have really good sponsors that I have all that. Because the
That
only
is
reason
true.
I have this book is because Lynn sent it to me.
Lynn is a very good sponsor.
'Cause she's
So is
awesome.
Cody, but
Well, it's kind of like how, this Tuesday, it was like, that he was all excited because she knit Carrie's hat, using Liz's pattern and
Yeah.
Lynn's yarn.
Tina's yarn.
No, was it Lynn or Tina's yarn?
Carrie's green hat, that was Tina's yarn.
Tina's yarn. I'm sorry.
and I guess I didn't realize it was the blocked hat. It must have been the way she had it like rolled
She
or
keeps
something.
folding it up.
But
Like the brim part. She keeps folding it up so the wrong side's out.
yeah, but I was
Which is
asking.
great for her, but less good for hat recognition.
No, but it looks good on her, and I have a cloche that I'm working on, but that's why I was asking what it was, because of the way she was wearing it. It looked like the style I wanted, and not that I don't want to make Liz's fantastic design. I just it wasn't what I was looking for at that time because
I made it
didn't
too
need it.
big for her tiny little head. So
She's got that fluffy hair. You'd think it'd fit her better.
I would have thought, but I guess she's tiny. So
That's funny. Oh, sorry, I keep yawning.
that's me all the time.
I don't know what happened to me. I was on a roll and then I stopped. That's what happened. I ate dinner.
Once
And
you
then,
stop,
yeah.
that's it.
I know. I always feel, like I said, today, absolutely flipping miserable. But also, because it is so cold, there's so much, like, muscles, like, hunching together, going, freezing. Eat up after a day like this.
So did you end up working today?
Yeah.
And it was negative 112 at your house?
Well, sometimes you run out of excuses. I don't think I'll be able to pull out of the bag for tomorrow. So
Yeah. Here. Cezanne says it's because I'm a mom at Christmas time. It's what happens. Pretty true. And I love my husband, but he's been on vacation this week. And let me tell you, I would have gotten so much more stuff done if he had been working. That's okay. I just embraced it instead. I was like, okay, this is what we're doing now. Whatever.
I'm just glad to be off the next 4 days. So
Yeah, you're off tomorrow too.
yeah. And even if like our suppliers were closed Monday, so even if he'd try to rearrange it to work Friday tomorrow, he's like, we don't even, like I said, we don't own the men don't own the right clothing to go work in that kind of weather.
That's too funny.
Like we just don't even. Literally, I have like hoodies. I don't have a coat.
Not any sort of coat?
I have like an crappy Old Navy pea coat from years ago, which is probably like the fakest of fake, and like this, not.
Yeah.
I mean, my husband has like some coats, jackets, and mechanic-y kind of stuff, but
I cannot imagine living somewhere where it's like, I don't really need a coat. Like, although for many years, just now that I'm getting older, I don't do it anymore. But like before I had kids and I like had to go stand outside in the snow, I would just wear a vest because I was always warm, and I'd wear a vest with hats and gloves, and it was fine. But no, about the time my kids decided that playing in the snow was cool, that's when I bought a real coat because they were small. I had to be outside watching them.
Yeah.
And they're like, come in the snow. And I'm like, no. Love my kids, but no, there are some things I just don't do. Their dad will go play in the snow with them. I don't like to. I sound like such a grump.
I've never seen real snow, so I don't know what that's like. So.
What?
That's sad.
Stop seeing real snow. That's
Huh?
a dream.
One day I'll come visit, and then I can see real snow.
Yeah. And we'll be sitting around just like absolutely miserable. Like, oh, look, it's magical. It's sparkling. It's everything I ever dreamed. And the rest of us like,
Yeah, like I just want to see it. I don't need to go in it.
right. Oh, no. No, you need the full hateful experience. It's part of the joy. You have to work past the misery.
Can I just like sit and look out the window
Oh, I guess it's okay.
with the fireplace and just look at it? I have to actually go in it.
You gotta go through it. But it would be ideal if we could get you like one of those first snows of the season when it's all like snow globe looking and it's not really sticking, and you know what I mean? Like the ones that you see on a movie when they're walking through the snow, and it's that kind of thing.
Or like it's a little misty the night before, so the next day everything is coated in frost and the little fluffy
and the sun shines on it and the trees are beautiful.
And you're like,
right?
Wow, how magical.
Yeah. People are talking about, oh, sorry. That dog is on the back of the couch. What's wrong with him?
He's trying to get Molly.
Oh, Molly's on the other side. And he's like, oh, look out the window. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, no. Lori's saying she's got a blizzard, and Morgan said that she's in Wisconsin, and it's crazy there. And I think that I might luck out and I might not actually get the blizzard. I think it's gonna stop like 100 miles away, 50 miles away, something like that. So kind of excited about that. Although if everything shut down, I still probably wouldn't cry. So
Here. I got to a good point to pause in the middle of your story.
I don't have a story.
Ta-da!
Pretty.
Very good.
Look,
Cool.
there is a second one.
Woohoo.
Cool.
Anyways, that I, like I said last time, gave up on the whole butterfly heel thing. What's with that?
Is it like fish lips kiss or what?
I don't think so. The butterfly heel is so you knit back and or you stocking it back and forth, and you decrease one on the edge each time, and then you decrease into a little point, and then you pick up stitches on the way back that you get bigger the other side, and you pick up a stitch from the edge, which I don't know what I was doing, but it was just not working. I don't know if I was picking up stitches in the wrong place or it wasn't looking right. And I was like, I'm just going to do a wrap and turn heel and skip all of that because wrap and turn heels make sense. I'm like, okay, I know how to do that. The whole butterfly, whatever. I'm like, I was trying it for a new method. I then found out I didn't like that method, and I'll go back to what I originally was
Go back
doing.
to what you were doing in the first place.
Right.
That's the
why
answer. I
don't
wish
like
I could.
Fish lips kiss or afterthought. I don't like any of the other ones.
You do afterthought heels. Do you have to put in waist yarn for those, or do you just like?
No, because that's
No,
a
that's not
forethought heel.
Oh, so how do you do an afterthought?
It's literally just you measure. It's is it 2 inches or 3 inches minus where I forget the measurement exactly, but you literally just cut it and do it.
What if you cut the wrong spot?
Well, you got to know where you're cutting.
But what if?
Well, when I've done it before,
You're screwed. Well, you're picking up before you cut. So you're putting your needles in, and then you're cutting between that, and that's where you're going to put the heel in.
Seems like you should just do it the way I did my yoga sock then, where you just knit in a piece of waste yarn, and then you don't have to cut anything.
Oh,
You can.
I think you can knit in a piece of waste yarn. I've also done it where I've just knit a tube and then done the afterthought heel, where I've figured out where it is, and then I've only cut one thread and then unraveled it so the slit is on half of the tube. So I've unraveled it enough and then picked up the stitches from there. And that one, I mean, if you have that little bit of yarn, I find that little extra bit of yarn on each side useful, because then if there's like a gap in where your heel is, you can use that to weave in ends, but you can also do a quick little sew up of the gap for where your heel is.
Yeah, it would look like I'm pretending, because this is not a heel, but like you cut it, you pick up, and then you cut in between.
Oh.
And then
I don't want to do that.
It's actually really easy, and it feels really badass because you're like, clip.
Oh, whoa, that's not the correct layout. What up?
We're all cozy.
Like the Brady Bunch. But only half
where
of
is our correct layout? How about this one? There we go.
I like the afterthought heel because that's for when I'm making, like I had this girl on Instagram with Scarlett, she cranks tubes. So she cranked a whole mess of my Felici yarn. Like I literally have this giant wheel of a tube. And so that eventually one of these days I'll actually get around to actually putting in heels for all the people that said they wanted the socks one day.
Right.
But so I need their measurement. So it's just a tube until they measure their foot. And then so you've made the tube already. You don't know who the sock is for. So that's why I do the afterthought.
Yeah. So you can do afterthought toes and heels.
Yeah.
Basically.
It is a whole afterthought sock. Yeah. It's just the tube.
So it's just one long tube, and you're going to cut them apart and put toes on. And like bind off the cuff again or whatever.
Yeah, because you usually do it contrasting. So if it's a stripy sock, I'm gonna put in a contrast toe and a contrast heel and a contrast cuff, which is why I've only done like 2 of them, because that's a lot of steps.
I just don't get the whole sock thing anyway. Now you've thrown this at me, and I don't like it.
Because the tube part, I mean, it's like $10 for her to crank the pair, and it just saves all that time. And you can gift them to whoever. You don't need to know what people's foot size is before you get, like you need to know everybody's feet size if you're going to put in heels while you're making the sock. And in this case, you don't.
Okay.
So
it just goes back to me and my total and utter disdain for socks as it is. And then now you're doing all this crazy stuff and I don't get it.
Well, then maybe you should make those. She should make that other one. I made it. The tube one. Oh, Andy, you know what I'm talking about? Where it's like really stretchy and it's like a spiral sock.
Oh.
So you don't actually have to put in a heel. Man, I think it's something spiral sock. Maybe somebody in the comments would know.
Because I remember seeing that pattern.
So it doesn't it's not going to fit just like, a real sock. It's a pretend sock.
Okay, so I'm mocking all of these socks, but guys, see my sock? My mom knit it. I think you gave us this yarn last Christmas, Amy.
Oh.
That's pretty. But since I don't knit socks, I gave it to my mom and she knit socks for me.
But maybe since you've done the yoga sock, maybe now you could try the spiral one. Because I forget what the pattern actually is, and it makes it like kind of stretchy. So you literally are just going, and then you do you got to do your toe and your heel. I mean, not your heel, your cuff. Mm-hmm. But you don't have to
maybe someday.
Measure.
Anne was trying to get me to commit to having it for my knitting resolution, and I just told her no. So if I want to do something, I will do it, but I'm not going to be like, yeah, no. I'd still like to work on brioche. I started learning brioche last year, and then I ran out of
I've never done that either.
time and gumption. And what's up?
Oh, I haven't done it either, too.
Me neither.
Oh, coming up soon, not to brag anything, but is the Nitty McPurley retreat, and one of the classes there is a brioche class. So I think I'll have to take it and figure out how it works.
Awesome.
Well, now I'm mad.
Like,
Okay, I'm not really, but
I know this. I don't know if Devin has said this too, has like published a class list or anything, but I'm also teaching a class on Intarsia, so I have to write it down quick because it is way closer than I think.
Hey.
you're teaching a class and you didn't even tell me? What's wrong with you? I thought we were friends. I thought we were close. And this is how you repay me? On this? The day of the blizzard?
Probably.
Sorry, guys. I've been...
That's all right. And as you know, with me and Intarsia is something I love and is something that everyone else looks at and goes, yeah, no, not doing that, not playing those games, not being there. So I thought that would be a good thing, because I want more people to do Intarsia, because that's what most of my patterns are. So financially, it's beneficial. I want to catch on, and I want to catch on in a big way. But also, it's like, this is one of those things that if you don't know what to do, it's like, it's okay. I'll hold your hand. We'll get through this together. I will be here, and we will learn this method.
I would take an Intarsia class from you. Deborah says that she mentioned it on the last podcast, so there you go.
Oh.
I haven't seen her last podcast, so.
Oh, and Morgan says her New Year's goal is to learn Intarsia, so there you go. Maybe somebody will tape Anne's class and we'll monetize it on our platform. I don't know. Your mom's going to be there, right, Anne?
She is.
Or your dad. One of them will tape it for us, won't they? One can tape you and one can tape your hands the whole time. I'm sure that wouldn't be disruptive.
Not at all.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, well. But yeah, my speaking of Intarsia, my Stardust shawl pattern is still in Bizarro Lovecraft Limbo. But that also has Intarsia, and I also have like step-by-step instructions. So
I will try it.
It's a good project, I swear.
Oh, Morgan said she wanted to test your shawl, but she was nervous she would mess it up.
There are no mess ups here. Everybody.
That's how you learn.
I do like the shawl. But yeah, I sent them an email this morning saying, hey, dude, you say it's published and yet no shawl pattern. And they sent me this lovely email back saying, we're all on Christmas break. Bye. We'll get back to you on the January.
On what day?
It was like the 3rd of January or something.
What?
I thought you said February.
Holy moly. I wish I had a Christmas break. Like
I
that.
know.
No, I wasn't working at all. And then one of the people I work for texted me and she's like, hey, so what are you doing on the 26th? And I'm like, not working. She's like, well. So I'm working on the 27th, which I did not want to do. But that's okay. It was just so funny because I'm like talking to my husband, we're going to do this and that and blah, blah. And then my phone goes, ding. Usually she calls me the day before though. So at least, you know, it could be worse.
A little extra consideration for the holiday.
Oh, somebody said, I just turned on the TV and Hanukkah on Rye is on. I watched it. I watched it on Wednesday.
What? Is it good?
It was on the Hallmark app. I watched it.
And you got the Hallmark app to work. See, this is what happens. I am technologically challenged, so I'm like trying to work, and they just don't for me, and I don't know why. Like me, in between me and technology, there's like this cosmic space wedgie, and it will not work.
Yeah. Like the day that she called me and said, I can't get into PayPal. And I'm like, Anne, what'd you do? She had somehow messed it up. I'd reset everything. Mm-hmm. And that's why she's not building our website.
Yeah. But how was Hanukkah on Rye?
Does that mean that Anne needs to suddenly go so she can watch Hanukkah on Rye?
Well, we weren't going to stay on much longer, so. Hanukkah on Rye was fine. It was more or less exactly what you would expect.
Perfect.
Maybe a little bit better than some. So, all in all, it was a good time.
Better than median.
Well,
as far as a Hallmark movie goes, it was one.
It was a Hallmark movie.
Yeah, the bar is probably pretty low.
Do you watch them, Amy? Or are you one of the ones that hate them?
They are. Nobody dies, and there's no tragedy. Why would I watch that?
Well, why does there have to be tragedy for it to be good?
I don't know.
Like this is very un-Dickens. Where's Tiny Tim coughing in the corner?
I mean, I will watch some sappy movies, but it's just the Hallmark ones are just. And I've tried a couple, and I'm like, that's just. I'm that person screaming at the screen, like that's not at all plausible.
Well, I've always really liked him, right? And then my husband, who is like the most practical man on earth, he comes up one night while I'm watching it, and he sits down next to me. He goes, "It's summer." And I'm like, what are you talking about? They've got all the snow. He goes, no, look at the trees. They have fake snow on leaves. He's like, this is just... And I never realized how... I mean, like, I always knew it was fake. Like, I never was like... But then I saw the snow sprayed on top of...
Some young bakers.
Okay. There is one I want to watch. Y'all can help me figure it out. I think it was this season, and I think it's supposed to be set in New Orleans. And I was like, oh, I've got to fact check, watch this one. I think the girl, Rudy from the Cosby Show, is in it. Like whatever the actress's name, I don't remember. But the girl that played Rudy, she's in it. And I can't remember what it's about. And I just remember some scene of somewhere where they were. And I happened to see it as I was passing through. I was like, that's not right. I was like, how y'all gonna have a Hallmark movie set in New Orleans? Like, where's the gunfire in the background? And
I think I saw something about that one.
I forgot.
And I think I was going to ask you about it because it was like, oh, and then the other day.
Sweaters. I'm like, we don't like this weekend is incredibly unusual. Like, normally Christmas is in shorts and t-shirts.
Yeah. But I was reading, well, I wasn't reading it. I was listening to a book that took place in New Orleans, and they were talking about like how, I don't know, just they loved it so much. And they were talking about what a great place it was and stuff. And I'm like, apparently this author never talked to Amy because.
Or it was an old book.
No, it just came out.
Oh.
But it was just really funny because like, I used to be like that. I used to be like, oh, la, 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 Hallmark movie. And then my husband's like, look at all the leaves on the trees. I'm like, oh, like all of these parts of my innocence just get chipped away by y'all.
Imagining, Amy out there standing in her shorts right next to the drive-through daiquiri place with
I mean, that's Christmas. Like they had scarves and stuff, and they were someplace with fakes, and they said it was fake snow. It was like an ice rink set up. But I'm like, we haven't had an ice rink set up anywhere in 25 years in New Orleans. I don't know where the hell you are.
It's the spirit of Christmas, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It makes impossibilities come true.
Because they did used to set up an ice rink, and then it melted, so they stopped doing it.
Well, I guess that makes sense. Here's a scale for movies. Cezanne scale is good, Hallmark, Lifetime, Netflix, crap. So I would say that Hanukkah on Rye would maybe be maybe a step above a Hallmark.
Ooh,
Really?
wow.
Some stuff happened in it that I expected less than I normally would have, so I thought that was good.
How it would end in the first 5 minutes of it starting.
You always do. That's the point of a Hallmark
That's why
movie.
I don't like Hallmark.
Like, hello, I haven't seen this movie, but not to spoil it, they get together in the end.
Right.
Like,
Someone will kiss in the snowfall, lightly falling on them. Santa in the background drinking hot cocoa with Mrs. Santa.
Well, it was. It was
not the Hanukkah
It
one.
It was Hanukkah on Rye, so there was no Santa on that one. There were a lot of menorahs, though. Let me tell you, I've never seen that many in my life.
Probably lit on the wrong nights too.
I don't know. And they sing that song a lot too. That song they sing when they light the menorahs. So there was a lot of that. They had lots of clips of that too. So, got to really enjoy it. Okay, I would try to say some of it, but I would just butcher it and it would be offensive to anybody.
In the snowfall with someone playing with the dreidel in the background.
No, that didn't happen. I mean, it had the required amount of getting angry at each other and not speaking, and that always happens in those movies, but it was good. Somebody was playing with a dreidel in the background.
So was it traditional Jewish girl tries to save her Jewish bakery from the bad city boy who comes into town?
Well, it's Hanukkah on Rye, so it's a deli. It's not a bakery.
Okay, all right.
Oh man. Okay, was the movie in New Orleans Noel? I looked it up, and it has that actress, and it looks like it.
Yeah.
A 5.4 out of 10. That's not a ringing endorsement.
That sounds about
right. But
that's
for a Hallmark batting average.
I think that's about what most of their movies get, right? Like 5, 6 out of 10. I bet. Yeah. I tried to. After our Tuesday show with Carrie and Neil, I did try to be more festive. I'm feeling much better now.
I always watch Christmas Vacation.
We watched that this year. We already watched it. And we watched A Christmas Story, which I usually hate, but this year, maybe I had gone long enough without seeing it that I didn't despise it. So let's see. What was I going to tell you? Oh, but my kids and so my husband's been off this week. So instead of doing productive things that I need to get done, we've been watching Harry Potter. The kids and I read the first book. We listened to it on audiobook, and then we watched the movie. And then my husband, who is not so much book guy, just kept watching movies with them. So yesterday we watched movie number 4, and the 7-year-old was terrified. I didn't realize it was.
Wait, it gets scarier.
It was PG-13. I didn't realize it, and I was like,
by movie 3 with the Dementors. It's
yeah.
Well, nobody was scared of the Dementors because I remember thinking they were creepy, and they were like, "No, that's fine." Yeah. My husband's saying stupid shit.
Ray finds feet, which should be its own content warning.
I know, it was awful. No, but the Dementors are on the screen, and my husband's saying things like, "Oh, that's what lives in your closet," and I'm like, "Stop it!" Because they don't wake you up when they have a scary dream. Yeah,
it gets pretty dark pretty quick.
Well, I know that. I've read them all. I've seen them all. But that's why we read the first book. I was going to pace it out. That had been the plan. And then my husband's like, "Hey, kids, watch this." And I'm like, super. So now they're out there watching Lord of the Rings, which is a movie I despise. And it sounds like they weren't interested. And he's like, "Lay down and watch the movie." And I'm like, I think that's a bit much for them.
Not to be too personal, but what's your problem? You don't like Lord of the Rings?
No.
Me neither.
Wow.
Thank you. I feel like whenever everybody's nerding out, I'm always the downer.
As nerd as I am, I don't like any of the like fantasy direction. Like Harry Potter's as far as like science fiction is one thing, but the fantasy angle I'm not a big fan of. So I'm hoping Odyssey Tale goes well.
No, Odyssey Tale was good in the
like I don't mind mythology kind of stuff, but I don't like dragons and the
Odyssey
the
Tale was
elven
good.
people in the Middle Earth thing. I don't get it. I don't like it.
And I'm not into sci-fi either. I don't care about
not a ton. Some.
I don't Doctor Who, Star Wars, Star Trek. I don't care about any of that. And so Lord of the Rings falls right in with all that junk. Yeah. Harry Potter's about as far as I go.
I tried to read Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit twice, and you know that. And they just kept walking and then walking some more. And then there was some trolls, and then I got lost. And
you're like, too much walking.
So much walking.
Okay, speaking of fact checking and whatever. So last night, I don't know how new it is, but it's that Netflix has a Scrooge movie, and it's a Christmas Carol, and it's animated, and they're singing, and I thought it was pretty cool. But also that the whole time I'm sitting there, I'm fact checking this story as it's going. I can't turn it off. I'm like, and look, Scrooge is there as a child in a boot blacking factory. I'm like, no, that's not Scrooge's story. Like that is part of David Copperfield, and that's a part of Dickens' own life. But you don't just randomly insert that into Ebenezer Scrooge. And they're doing this whole thing where they're like trying to build up almost an apologist angle for why Scrooge is Scroogey. I'm like, no, Scrooge is Scroogey because he's Scroogey, and then he gets better.
The story.
But
well, the reason why he's kind of been a money grubber this whole time is that his dad was in debtor's prison, and he's like concerned about money. Like, no, he's this way because he's a jerk, and that's why there's the whole redemption angle. That's important. So,
is this the one that's animated? That was kind of creepy animation.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, my husband also recorded the kids to watch that with him. There's a lot of they're gonna be in therapy someday going. I was like 9, and my dad just kept making me watch these movies I didn't want to watch.
But I mean, for that one, they're more in therapy because it was a sincerely bad version of A Christmas Carol.
No, they were scared of some of the animation. I didn't watch it. See, that's the other thing. When he's doing that with them, I'm off doing something else, like, not doing that. So.
Now, if you like Scrooge, on TikTok, but I don't do TikTok, but he's posting it on Instagram too. Patrick Stewart is reading A Christmas Carol.
Ooh,
day by day. He's reading each, however long. I forget what day he's on, but and of course, Patrick Stewart reading anything is heavenly. So, but he is reading A Christmas Carol if you want to listen to it that way.
Yeah. Cool. Here, the best version of Christmas Carol is the Muppets. It just is. I haven't watched that this year. I better make my kids watch it. I better ask my kids to watch that with me.
Right. And as my pal Michelle often geeks out about, what makes the Muppet Christmas Carol and Muppet Treasure Island better than other versions? It's because the Muppets, like the old theater, like Greek theater, like ancient Japanese theater, that they have the choir, that they have a narrator throughout the story. And because of that, you can get narrative elements into your play that you can't have if you're just having characters go back and forth, which is why Muppets is superior to Christmas Carol, because you can have both more of a narrative angle. You can get lines like dead as a doornail, and you can have fun jokes.
Good point.
There we go.
Okay, what song is this that they're talking about it? They're releasing the song Belle.
What's the song Belle?
Sings actually in the movie?
We sing it with the song Belle, since actually it's in the movie finally.
I don't know what that is. So I'm curious because I want to know if they're talking about that awful song that the chick sings in the park about her and Scrooge, because I hate that part so much. I always fast forward it. So anyway, Labyrinth.
Anyways,
Where Love Has Gone was cut. Yeah, the version I have is has that in it, and I just fast forward through it because that song, not a winner. They're gonna kill me now because they're all like, "I love this."
Oh, okay. As far as Christmas carols go, the real question is, where does Doctor Who 11th Doctor Christmas Carol rank?
Pretty good.
It's a pretty good one.
It's a pretty good one.
I can't have an opinion. I don't know what we're talking about.
You're like, as far as Doctor Who Christmas specials go, you're like,
It is a weird one.
But that's not that weird.
Sky Sharks, man.
Sky Sharks. I mean, you know what Scrooge was missing? Sky Sharks.
Sky Sharks?
Oh,
Literally.
Whales, Sky
Fish.
Sharks.
Yeah, it swam in the sky.
Yeah.
Literally.
Well, maybe they're going to have the Feast of the Seven Fishes after that. I don't know.
Maybe there were Italians on that planet. They're like,
They could have been. I
final.
mean, maybe that's where we got it from. I don't know.
True. And then my other one is the Doctor, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. The one where it's 11 and the mom has to save her two kids, the trees. Remember Anne with the acid rain?
I remember The World of Trees. Was that with Danny Pink?
No, this is like set in like World War II time, and the mom, her husband's like a fighter pilot or whatever. And dad's coming home for Christmas, and you remember that one? The little blonde lady, she's really sassy.
I don't know why I don't remember this.
You like that one. It's like Narnia. I mean, it's a play on Narnia, so you would like that one.
Okay. I don't
see the good thing. See, DK, you don't have to watch Doctor Who to appreciate the Christmas specials.
Exactly.
They are one-off episodes. They're not,
and they're made so that they don't connect to anything else. Like that's their entire point, because all the British people the people of British origin are all sitting around, with their little paper crowns on and their drinks in hand, and they're watching the Doctor Who Christmas special, and the Queen afterwards. So the overarching plot, totally irrelevant.
Well, that's nice.
So you could watch them.
I could, but I wouldn't even know how to go about doing that, and I'm not sure I have the energy to try. But maybe. I sound like such a freaking cynic all the time. I'm really not.
And I'm sitting here going like, ooh, I mean, I do have all of the Doctor Who DVDs before The Last Chick, of course.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, I should look it up and find it. So I think a Harry Potter marathon is probably in my near future as well.
Yeah, I have BBCA, so they will probably stream them all this weekend. So
that's fun. When I get off of this, I'm going to go put on the Muppet Christmas Carol and prove to the haters in the comment that stupid song is in my version. I'm going to record it and send it to them off my TV.
I don't know. I know I have to go cook dinner now before they get home. So
before they who?
The men.
How many people are coming?
The men, the two that live here. One's gone, so that's two left I have to feed.
So
one less mouth to feed, but
still got it. I find that it doesn't matter. You still end up cooking the same.
Oh yeah.
It's all good.
No.
So Amy's gonna go cook dinner.
I had to pay for him to travel, so that just negated any of the grocery savings. So
yeah. So what about you, Anna? Anything else you wanted to mention, talk about, something?
Not in particular.
Cool.
I don't know. Besides, I mean, talking with Patrick Stewart, reading the Christmas Carol, I'm like, oh, and also, Mark Stein on his website for subscribers has books that he reads, and one of them is A Christmas Carol. Turns out the reason that he's been off for 2 weeks, putting in a bit of news here, is that the man had 2 heart attacks. And he said that, that he's lucky he didn't recognize it was a heart attack the first time because he was in London. When he realized that the second one was a heart attack, he was in France and had a much better healthcare service.
Wow.
But
Interesting. Did he have the shot?
I don't know. Not that I know of.
I'd just be curious. So anyway, Anne and I have to finish opening our advent calendar. I guess we'll do that tomorrow or something. It's up to Anne. And
so if you can say, what's your favorite of the advent yarns?
Me?
Yeah.
The Giver one.
Number 4. That's my favorite.
I like the Giver one. Well, I had quite a few favorites, but I really like the Giver one.
Yeah. I'm gonna she says she's gonna ask us which ones we want as full skeins, and I'm just gonna write that one down for all of them. So that she might get the hint about what I want.
She had several really good ones. I was like, ooh, that's gonna be hard. So.
But that's cool. We still have 3 days left and our full skeins, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, Anne and I are going to finish that in the next day or two, so stay tuned. And don't forget to check out Chicken Lady Fiber Arts. Use her code PIKWinter20 to get 20% off, although I think she's running a better deal right now. So
I think so. Yeah.
I think if you...
So stick the 20% off deal in your pocket, because you still have that, but she is running special. So
yeah, I think she's running like 35% off. So, go check it out. And
yep,
if I'm wrong, sorry. You already did?
I think it's 30% off. So I already shopped.
Good. So yeah. So we will see you guys later. Have a super duper Christmas and Hanukkah and Festivus and Sunday. And we'll see you guys soon. All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.